Summernats is very loud. And if that's what you're into, it's the best place on earth. Summernats started in 1987 as the brainchild of a car enthusiast called Chick Henry, who maybe invented the first shaggin' wagon, maybe. It's the premier car festival in Australia, and it takes place in Canberra. There's an air show, freestyle motocross, lawnmower racing, drifting, a tattoo parlour, and a mullet competition. And unbelievable cars, feats of engineering, these baroque lines and candy colours and custom number plates. But this annual car show isn't just about style, it's also about substance, to take home the Grand Championship prize, which is a literal sword. Cars need to win points in the elite judging, where they're assessed on things like straightness of their bodywork, whether their interiors are single or double stitched, their engine bay, their undercarriage, anything that's been custom engineered, which is usually a lot. Then there's the people's choice. And then they have to win points in the driving events. There's the Motorcana, which involves taking a series of turns and crucially completing a 180-degree turn, so your steering circle needs to be functional. Then there's the Go to Woe, where cars have to accelerate and stop at a certain point. And to be fair, when they're doing these events, they're going relatively slow, compared to, say, the lawnmowers. But it's kind of incredibly high stakes, because in a lot of cases, this is the only time that these cars, besides going on and off trucks or onto podiums, actually get driven. Take Forged XY, for example. It's a 1971 Ford XY Fairmont. It's worth about $1.8 million and has been 12 years in the making. Last year, it was called the most exquisitely detailed elite car build ever seen in Australia. This year, it won second place in the engine bay competition, first in top bodywork, first in top paint, first in engineering, and during the Motorcana event, it crashed into a concrete barrier. And sitting in the crowd, it was the quietest the festival had been in 4 days. I think that's what's so special about Summernats, that there's so much love for these cars that if something goes wrong, even if it's just a car careering slowly into a concrete barrier, it feels like a funeral. The staff working the event didn't want to push the car off the course because they didn't want to get soot on the paint job. For every rev head that loves Summernats, there is a Canberran who absolutely dreads its arrival. The thing about Summernats is, because it's a car festival, it's not really confined to the festival grounds. These are cars where the engine has to be literally strapped into the engine bay, so you tend to notice if one drives past your house at 11 o'clock. And going beyond the sonic environment, there's a bit of a reputation for antisocial behaviour and especially misogyny. In 1988, police reinforcements were called to the National Exhibition Centre over fears that thousands of people attending a wet t-shirt competition would turn violent. And last year, as a serious brawl broke out between patrons and security, in 2013, 3 promotional models were harassed. These claims were disputed and no formal complaint was made. In 2008, a drunken mob of 400 men allegedly rampaged for 2 hours, surrounding women and chanting, "Get your tits out." In 2017, Summernats adopted its zero-tolerance approach to sexual harassment. This year, there was no major negative event. Infringement notices were issued, cars were seized, there was an increased police presence, and the event was mostly reported favourably. But you do get the sense, given the heat and the hangovers, that it takes a lot to keep the event safe. But the thing about Summernats is it's so unapologetically itself. Love it or hate it, it's a screeching, sort of chaotic celebration of a quite rich culture. And if nothing else, as one t-shirt I saw described it, it's a chance to do dumb shit in stupid cars.